Hello, Toast. Bear with me as I try to convince my equipment to work. We are dealing with smoke again tonight, but we'll see. Okay, we don't want S50, we want Dwarf 3, come on. Both my Samsung tablet and Dwarf decided to upgrade and update without my permission as I'm trying to go live. Connection interrupted, thank you. Hello, Zina. We have a strawberry moon to look at, except it is very low in the trees. So I'm going to try to fish it out of the tree. You saw Snooky the snake today. We also saw a snapping turtle laying eggs. I took a video of that. I don't want to update. I like my life as it is. I don't want anything new. There we go. And of course, when they update things, they add new apps that I did not ask for and I did not want. The extreme arrogance of the IT people, whether they are the device makers or the folks at work, it's just mind-boggling. No, I don't want solitaire on my tablet. And no, I don't want to sign in to a new account. No, I don't want new video games. Ah! There's the moon. We'll get it out of the tree. All right. Yeah, it's not gonna go higher than, I think, 18 degrees tops tonight. It's gonna be very, very low. Big question is, how much damage will the smoke cause tonight? Yeah, I spent a good morning with the students in Oswego, and they are reconvening at 10 p.m. without me. I have a new perch for the DWARF 3. Now I can have two telescopes sitting on my windowsill, and I can still open the window without kicking any of them off. The students showed up, yes. 2 out of 3. So we're not doing too bad. Last week, one showed up at 9 as planned, one showed up at 10:30, and one never showed up. Today, 2 showed up at 9:02. The third never showed up, so that's why they made a shoulder shrugging emoji. Yeah, this is one tree I do not cut down. My late wife planted it 31 years ago before she succumbed to breast cancer. So that is her tree. And it is taller than the building now. You can see the edge of the house, the third roof, and the tree is just above it. Good morning, Jeannie. Did we wake you up? Oh no, what time is it in California anyway? Snooky. Well, the 3 children left. I'm left with the tree. So we are at 9:25. We should be able to find Polaris, maybe. I need stellarium to control Seestar tonight, so we can go to DL Hercules. It says startup complete. All right. Take us to Hercules, please. Polaris first. Oh, good. We have stars out of focus. That's easy to fix. Oh, goody. What is that? You see the Canadian smoke? Yep. Let's try to focus. Yeah, this is bad. Wow. Okay. We're going to go to the great cluster in Hercules as a first step before we go to DL, Delta Lima, Hercules. Zena, you have a lot more fans than 4. It just happens to be 4 right now. And only 2 of them click the like. I went to Hercules using Stellarium just for the fun of it, to make sure we have a working connection. Okay, I'm feeling a lot better than I did half an hour ago. Half an hour ago, nothing was working. Now only 3 things are not working, so we're making progress. Zena, you know the joke. Everybody brings joy to this house, some by coming, others by leaving. So you like it when you leave. Thank you. We appreciate you visiting anyway. All right. The plan is to stack M13 for a few minutes. Till the sky turns a bit darker. And then Seestar is going to go to DL Hercules and stay on it for many hours. There we go. Whatever works for you, Toast. I should hurry up and label the telescopes before Captain Peterson comes on board. There is Seestar. And there is DWARF. And everybody knows the Skycam. Okay, we are seeing stars on Skycam. Glad to hear you're enjoying retirement, Zena. If you want to ruin it, get yourself a dog. Then any flexibility or freedom you had will be gone for good. Yeah, the nice thing about the annual leave payout is Uncle Sam takes a big chunk from it before they even give it to you. They say, this is our money now. The fan on my laptop is going crazy. It had never done that before. Let's see what Task Manager says. According to my task manager, the item that's using up a lot of CPU is called Windows Driver Foundation User Mode Driver Framework Host Process, aka Microsoft junk, bloatware. This is amazing. I'd never seen this running before. %44 of CPU. Okay. Stacking failed, image discarded. I should fix my attitude tonight, otherwise it's going to be a long night. Okay, I'll be back. I'm gonna move that tree a little bit so we see the moon. I had never heard a fan on this computer before. It has a solid state drive. At exactly 10 o'clock, we're gonna hop over to DL Hercules. The moon is getting out of the tree, so we can adjust the shutter. Nice. I do not dare focus, autofocus, because it'll autofocus on the tree. Hello, Jacob. I'm doing my students' homework by going to one of the RR Lyra, the DL Hercules, and trying to get several hours worth. My moon is behind tree. Smoke is above us. And there is a National Weather Service warning for us for tomorrow. They're saying hold your breath for 24 hours. Don't breathe. The particulates are particularly high. There is my Big Dipper. We're golden. Jacob, I downloaded the file from NASA that NASA got from the Russians that lists all known variable stars. And I was able to import it into a spreadsheet, and I sorted it by period. Some of them have periods as short as 4 minutes. We're talking about a star that is blinking at a 4-minute pace. The unfortunate thing about those with very short periods, their magnitudes are very, very faint. Magnitude 16, 17. The one we're looking at tonight has a period of a few hours, and the magnitude should go from 11 to 12.4. So it is changing by a factor of 4 roughly, brightness. And if we are to believe the Milwaukee Astronomical Society, it will reach a peak at 12:30 a.m. Yeah, once I finished digesting that big file and identifying which stars are doable, we're going to attempt them sooner rather than later. Yes, several with periods of less than an hour. I've been playing a lot with Gemini, that's Google's AI. For some reason, because I have a YouTube channel and I am one of their beta testers, they offered me a free professional version of Gemini 2.5 to play with. And I was looking at an ETF, exchange traded fund on the stock market, and that thing was trading at about $16 per share. So I asked Gemini, has that stock ever traded under $14? And Gemini said, yes, many times. As a matter of fact, last week it traded at $15.42. And I had to explain to Gemini AI that $15.42 is not less than 14. When I tried to explain that, Gemini retorted saying, I took Common Core math. I'll get you more data about the variable stars with the short periods. The trick is to find a star that is bright enough at maximum dim enough at minimum so there is at least a 1 magnitude difference, and a period of yeah, just about an hour will work well. Well, I asked Gemini, can you make a joke about free will versus predestination? And sure enough, it gave me a joke. When John died and went to heaven, St. Peter pointed him to two lines, said this line is for the free will people and that line is for the predestination people. So John stood in the predestination line, and St. Peter asked him, why did you choose that one? He said, because I chose it. He said, well, in that case you belong in the free will line because that was your choice. So he moved to the free will line, and an angel passed by saying, why are you here? And he said, I was told to stand here. I thought for an AI to come up with this joke is funny. Okay, we have a moon. The moon is out of the tree. It's not focused enough for my liking. Okay, that's more like it. Let's grab a minute. We're at 9:52. We're going to use Seestar Alp on Stellarium to get us to DL Her. Okay, it's not too far from Russell Hague. I'm just gonna see if the map, there goes a something. Okay. Why can't I see the map? Yeah, those stars are not labeled. Already. We will get to it. Alright, before we start capturing, we may have to go back to it. I want to turn all frames on. Save each frame and where are we? What am I skipping? Yep, we are centered. Let's center it one more time. Very well, let's do it. The fan has finally stopped. Okay, I can verify that we have the right part of the sky. If you look carefully down here, there are two stars on top of each other. The star right above the arrow is DL-Her. I shall put another arrow on it. I verified that the Seestar has plenty of storage for the night. Many of those stars are named after the constellation in which they reside, preceded by two letters or two letters and four digits. So Her, H-E-R, refers to Hercules. This is not a pronoun, politically correct pronoun, otherwise it will have been DL, them. Howdy Mundus. It is indeed Delta Lambda Hercules. For those of you who are not using a flip phone to watch this video, you can see two stars, one on top of the other. The lower star is DL-Her or Delta Lambda Hercules. That's the one of interest to us. The star next to it is going to serve as a reference point. With a lot of luck, if we're able to see the variable star get brighter, it should reach peak at 12:30 in 2.5 hours. And I'm not worried about field rotation. It is smack in the middle. Not much is going to rotate there. It is currently at azimuth 112 degrees and altitude 42 degrees, so we have ways to go before we lose it. What part of the world, Mundus, do you find yourself clouded under? Because we can send you some smoke. Hello, Isobig. If you look to the west on the Skycam, you should be able to see, I think these are Mars, Regulus, and Subra. No, it's Mars, Regulus, and Algeba. Sorry. Or the nebula. But it's an evident triangle down there. And then we have the Big Dipper. And obviously Polaris. Let me show you the big view. There we go. Big Dipper. And Polaris. This is the triangle I was referring to. And everything else is smoke. We're doing okay smoke-wise. Fellow Simba, the moon changes color whenever we put a filter on it to change color. So we'll do it right away for you. Here you go. Is this strawberry enough for you? I can make it pinker. There you go. Is this pink enough? We have other options if we must. There we go, this is pink. Here's the strawberry moon. Zena, we expect to hit 1 million views within the next 2 days. We are at 994,000 views. So before the weekend, that's for sure, possibly as early as Thursday or Friday. Hello, Alan. Hope you're enjoying the strawberry moon. We just painted it pink at the request of one of fellow Simba. I have no idea, other than the smoke, why the sky is so bright on the top left. Definitely not the moon, because the moon, if anything, is on the bottom right of Seestar's field of view. Absolutely no idea. Let's try to reduce that a bit. There we go. Alan, Seestar is imaging Delta Lambda Hercules It is a variable star with a reasonably short period of a few hours. It is supposed to reach peak magnitude at 12:30, which is about the time in which we lose the moon and we put dwarf to do something useful. I mean, to look at other things, such as TCRB. May well be, Jacob. Either that or the moon lighting up all the particulates in the air. Last time I checked, there were 6 people checking on TCRB. We know that our good friend in Florida checks on it every morning. I check on it every year. Good night, Jacob. Glad you could join us. How big is your monitor, Sina? Did you go with the big one? S50 is looking at Delta Lambda Hercules. It's a variable star with a period of a few hours. We expect the star to reach maximum magnitude at 12:30 in a couple hours. So I'm taking lots of frames and storing them all so I can compare them and see if I can plot a light curve. Hello, Bill. Mad, we have the ability to change the color of the moon to anything we want it. There you go. Or if you prefer it gray, there is a gray moon. But since it's supposed to be the strawberry moon, we can go pink, or we can go orange. I mean, you pick your color. That's the beauty of Photoshop. But for now, I am happy with it being strawberryish. There we go. Gina, they will let you know when we give you a timeout if you're saying some nice, not nice things. Bill, the big project for the night is Delta Lambda Hercules. I chose this one for tonight because the difference between minimum magnitude and maximum magnitude is actually 1.6. It goes from about 11 to about 1.4, from 11 to 12.4 in a matter of an hour, if they are correct. You must not be doing your job, Zina, if you have not gotten a timeout. I don't think so. Toast. It is classified as an RR Lyra. I used to have a boss who called me in his office to let me know that he has not received any complaints about me in over 2 weeks and wondering if I were okay. Or if I was okay. Yeah, we have not had any flat earthers lately. I wonder where they are. Yes, they have. Last week was our first meeting, and as I mentioned, one of them arrived at 9 o'clock on time, the other one arrived at 10:30, and the third one never showed up. Today we made progress. Two of them arrived late, and the third one did not show up. But we spent the morning working on the big mead, and they are there tonight actually working on it. And one of them is working on Mr. Mead, trying to do some imaging with it. They're not doing any RR Lyra tonight. They're just getting used to moving the scope around the sky. Hello, Glider Rider. Long time no see. How are the Black Hills these days? Still dark out your way? Hi, Otto. Are you guys getting Canadian smoke in South Dakota? Yeah. We were issued a health warning for tomorrow. New York State is very concerned about its people breathing, so they told us to hold our breath because of Canadian air. Too many particulates, particularly in the air. When you say you adapted your mount, are you referring to the tripod or the mount itself? Hey Bill, I have good news. I installed a new angle bracket, so I have two of them at my window now. And I have both the DWARF and the Seestar right outside my window. Hi, John. We have not checked on TCRB. We're putting you in charge of that tonight. Don't know if you guys saw my short video Sunday morning. Woke up, looked out of my window, and I could see sunspots on the sun. It was that smoky that I did not need any instruments to look at the sun and see sunspots. And as the joke goes, I looked for the sun all night, then it dawned on me. Yeah, 2023 we also had extremely bad smoke from the fires. Hello, Matthew. John was just complaining about the weather in Florida. For those who just joined us, this is the Pompey Observatory with a new setup. The Seestar S50 is looking at RR Lyra, a variable star in the Hercules constellation. This one is Delta Lambda Hercules, DL Her. It's supposed to have a period of a few hours, and it is expected to reach peak magnitude at 12:30, so in another hour and a half or thereabouts. So Seestar is storing all the frames, and then we will see if we can submit them to astrometry and measure the change in magnitude. The good news is there is another star right next to it, so that if there is a change, if there's a noticeable change in magnitude, we should be able to see it because the other star is not changing. And Dwarf 3 is looking at the moon, the strawberry moon. And our Skycam is looking at smoke. We do see the summer triangle due west, although this is cheating because one of those three stars is Mars. It's not a star. The Big Dipper is clearly visible, so is Polaris. The moon is only 15 degrees high. It's not going to get much higher tonight. Barely clearing the roof. I used the Seestar Alp on Stellarium to go to DLHR. Nice thing about Stellarium is they have quite a few of the variable stars in the database. And with Stellarium controlling Seestar, I don't need to worry about finding them. I just right click and go to. The magnitude of delta lambda Hercules should go from 12.4 to about 11. So that's quite a change. That's what chainsaws are for. They will clear trees so you can see farther and lower. Already gone through my first chainsaw chain of the summer. I usually go through 5 or 6 per year. I'm going to bring Stellarium onto the big screen. Actually, no, I can do it more readily. Display. This is the part of the sky that we are looking at. Nice thing about Stellarium is it allows me to put the actual field of view of Seestar, or any device for that matter. And I'm gonna toggle it on and off for a second just to show you that we indeed have the right part of the sky. The first thing you see is the bright star at the top right. And if I were to zoom in, there are 2 sets of stars. There is this one and then this one. 2 very distinct patterns. And you can see them right here. This pattern up there and this pattern down here. And we're going to go back to the display for a second. Zoom in further. And here are the 2 stars. The lower one is DL Her, and the upper one has a 13 some magnitude. And that's where Seestar is. It's gonna correct and move closer at the end of each capture. We're gonna stay here for a minute to show you Seestar moving. See? Seestar is replate solving and repositioning itself. And this is Seestar's field of view. 44 arc minutes times 77 arc minutes. Okay, back to the live image. It is slightly brighter than the one above it, and I expect it to get a lot brighter. Several days ago, Seestar was complaining that it needed horizontal calibration and insisted that my windowsill, that my house was at a 3-degree angle. Turned out the firmware update made it forget its own internal calibration, and there was a way to do it, so I did that. And then it immediately gave me a less than an arc minute off. So I'm happy with that. Auto, no, I'm just capturing all the frames. These are 10-second exposures. It is bright enough without stacking, so I'm not going to do any stacking. I emptied the memory, and we should have plenty of storage to just keep stacking all night long. It is at 51 degrees altitude, so we have time. And it's out of the way of the moon, although I suspect the ugliness at the top left corner is caused by bright moon reflecting off Canadian smoke. The only smoke from Canada that I like is the one that comes on ham or bacon. Smoked Canadian ham is good. My breakfast this morning was very healthy. I had steak, sausage, bacon, and eggs. Coffee is supposed to be a vegetable, or is it a bean, whatever. So I had coffee with it. Good stuff. Wow. Yeah, M31 is still a little bit low for us. Yeah, M31 is just rising now. So by the time we are done with the moon, should be able to get DWARF to tackle M31. I made a point to focus the Seestar before we started this session. Yeah, Dwarf 3 is doing well. The moon went through the tree and Dwarf 3 tracked it nicely. Don't know if it's time to refocus it. I'm gonna try to replay. I saw it passing near the moon. I don't think it was over the moon. I'm gonna try to replay it. I'm unable to find it with the slider. I don't know about the lately part. I've never had a good experience flying through Newark. I gave up on it eventually. Yeah, I see plane on the Skycam. Some people cheat in order to get transits by going near an airport and identifying the final approach on the runway and adjusting their location in such a way that a plane will fly past the moon. And tonight, with the moon at only 16, 17 degrees elevation, that is very doable. Landing to the west, it means they will fly over us and then make the turn, left turn onto the runway. Yeah, there is a plane, top right corner. There are two planes at the same time. John, yes, they are. They're using both the 16-inch Meade and the 90mm, the ETX 90. Another faculty member is supervising them tonight and showing them how to do things the old-fashioned way by manually entering right ascension and declination coordinates through the hand controller of the telescope. Don't know if you guys are familiar with astrometry.net. The question we're trying to answer, once it plate solves a picture and it assigns magnitudes to the known stars, does it try to estimate the magnitude of a variable star in that picture, or does it assign to it the book value of that magnitude without trying to measure its magnitude? I'm going to have to slide back to the beginning of the session an hour ago and see whether that star is indeed getting brighter or not. Bill, as I look at the pictures 1 hour apart, there is no doubt that DL Delta Lambda Hercules is a lot brighter now. Granted, we have been stacking for an hour, but the relative brightness of DL Hercules compared to the one right above it, it's very evident now that it is a lot bigger. The proportions are very different. I think we have something. Let me try to show it to you guys. All right, humor me for a second. What's going on here? Nope. Ah, okay, sorry, it is what's going on. This is right now, and this was an hour ago. Looking at those two stars side by side, the relative dimensions, here they are almost comparable, and here one of them is obviously bigger. And if we look at the neighboring stars, for example, Data 1, the one to the right of the red arrow, before and after, it's almost the same. But our variable star is changing. No, it is increasing brightness. It will peak at 12:30. It has another hour to go. Despite the fact that we are stacking, I'm looking at the relative brightness of the two neighboring stars. Here versus here. If we look at the four stars in a pattern on top of the image, there is no change, no discernible change despite the stacking, other than the smoke. But those two stars in the middle of the screen, their relative sizes. Okay. Don't know, Bill, about the screen grab blink test yet. We may have our light curve. I'm going to stay on it for another couple hours at least to see what we get. I am really not convinced that we need a 16-inch telescope to measure the light curve. Here's another part of our problem. The moon is reflecting off the side of the house. My wife did not let me paint the house black. So a full moon like this reflecting into the Seestar. Actually, in my office, my control room, I got a black sheet hanging on the wall to diffuse the reflections from the monitors. Even though the monitors are practically black as much as possible. The sky cam is bright, the moon is bright, so there's quite a bit of light in the room, and that black bed sheet absorbs and diffuses quite a bit of that, so they don't reflect off the walls, so they don't go bouncing off walls. Yeah, tonight with the full moon is not an ideal night to do science. But we may have a good light curve. Be right back. Well, we have had too much rain. The ground is soaking wet and little ponds here and there. Mimo does not have a fighting chance of not getting stuck in mud near the cemetery. So I'm waiting. I went there a couple of days ago to check the ground, and there is standing water still. So as soon as we get some heat from Xena, hopefully, to dry up. That star is looking bigger compared to its tiny neighbor. No mosquitoes yet inside the house. I'm getting very used to the laziness of sitting in my office in my control room on a rocking chair with 4 monitors, 2 telescopes outside my window, and I can hear them moving. And Dwarf 2 could be on the other perch. Right now we're dealing with the black fly season, and deer flies are on the move. And something that is always an issue, and that's tick. We have tick season that starts around April and goes through November. And those Bambis are excellent tick carriers. John, not sure with the mosquitoes and the deer flies at this point when I will be going back to the Adirondacks. We had our 90-degree day for the summer, and that's it, we're done. Now we're back into the 60s and 50s. I have a ruler. I can measure how far I am from the D3. Wait. I'm about 4 feet from the D3 and 3 feet from the Seestar. Yes, I have a solid connection. Let me show you if I can show you the setup. Okay, this is the window. It's too dark, so we're going to need some light. Yep, this is the window with the screen. That is the Seestar. And there's the DWARF. So that is the setup. And this is the computers, the tablets, one monitor, all the monitors. I have the noise cancelling on, yes. That was thanks to Jacob that we eliminated the fan noise. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach tomorrow, the star is getting really visibly brighter than its neighbor. Bill, I have not done my due diligence yet, which I promised to do, and that is to measure the field, electromagnetic field of the dwarf at various angles, because as it rotates, when it's facing sideways, I lose connection also. When it's facing head on, there is no problem with the connection. Yeah, this should be a straightforward experiment. I'll put the tablet in a fixed location and then rotate the dwarf around its axis and try it at different distances. And we should be able to plot the electromagnetic field, and it's going to look like a body plot of sorts. I think we have the moon with us for another half hour or so before it gets on the other side of the building. And then we'll put Dwarf 3 to work on the Andromeda. M31 should be high enough by now. What is M31? It is still at 6 degrees, so we need to give it a chance to get to at least 10 degrees. M31 was the first galaxy that I imaged with Stellina. The dwarf folks have been working frantically on the firmware. It has grown too big. The app now is over 100 megabytes. So they have a few bugs they're trying to iron out. I hear a plane. I don't see it. I promise you next time we have a session like this, now that I found the database of every known variable star in the universe, and I was able to import it into an Excel spreadsheet and then sort it by period. Some of them have a period of literally a few minutes. So I'd like to have identify some with periods of a few minutes and try to image them, so you guys do not have to stay up with me till after midnight. But I'm very happy with the success of this experiment. One of the projects that the students are working on is adapting the API that astrometry.net provides in order to import those files and automatically calibrate and measure the magnitudes of the stars in it. Thank you, Bill. You guys are a good crowd to have around. It's almost tomorrow. First thing I'll be doing tomorrow is importing all the files of Seestar and making a video of them and trying to play that video and speed it up to see if we can indeed see that star getting brighter and dimmer, brighter and dimmer, if we can have it go on and off. No, straightforward. ASI camera comes with a 1-inch, 1¼ inch adapter, so it fit in the eyepiece of the ETX90. I'm still trying to find the right MID driver that will allow us to control the ETX90 through the hand controller, because that is the missing piece for plate solving. We can plate solve now, but I need to be able to feed back and correct the location. Toast, that will be a short video in the next couple of days as soon as I have it done. I'm trying to find a star nearby with a known magnitude so we can compare. Aha, okay. I forgot that I was zoomed into the Seestar field of view. That's why I wasn't finding the right guys. Haven't thought of having them driven together, but that is doable thanks to ESCOM. Okay, let me be the first to wish you a happy Wednesday. For those east of the Mississippi. Yeah, driving multiple telescopes to the same target is doable. Have a good night, Zena. We will see you again. Let me see what the forecast looks like for the next few days. Stand by. Astrospheric says we're going to have a good night's sleep tomorrow and then possibly clear skies on Thursday. We'll see. Delta Lambda Hercules is approaching 60 degrees elevation. So we have it for at most 1 more hour. And that's going to be my plan. 1 a.m. or Wednesday, Minnesota time is when we will wrap it up. Try to see if Seestar would recognize anything on that map. It says no, nothing to mark. I'm going to try to make it to Oswego one of the nights this week to make sure that we can start imaging the variable stars. Since it's already Wednesday, I can start thinking about having my first coffee of the day. No, Mr. Mead is not in the dome. It is in the control room in the main building, given that it is reasonably easily carryable in and out. I'm trying to minimize the clutter in the dome just for safety, because when that big thing swings around with the big ladder in the middle, plus the control room at Rice Creek does not have snakes. Today I had to explain to one of the students that he should not stand on the swivel chair to reach the telescope. Did you see the short video of Snooky the snake, the one that I took today? As we approached the dome to open the door, I saw the snake sticking its head through the door saying, "Are you here?" We opened the door and that thing stayed there with us until the dome started moving and it took off. And by the time we were done with our work, it came back, waiting for us to close up so that it can go back inside. One of the students asked me, "Do you like snakes?" I said, I haven't eaten any. I know I like alligator. I've had some in Louisiana. I haven't had snakes. Let me show you something interesting. This is the Seestar as seen by the dwarf. Now that they are on the same windowsill, with the moon almost due west, the dwarf is looking over Seestar's shoulder to see the moon. Back to the moon. Yeah, I'm going to give M31 a few more minutes and then we'll hop over there. Yeah, M31 is approaching 10 degrees. I'm going to give it till 10 degrees. M104 right now is to the southwest. Let me see where it was earlier tonight. I think it's doable earlier in the evening. Yeah, it would have been doable earlier this evening. It is one of my favorites with the big scopes, considering that it's only 8 arc minutes. I've imaged it with both the 11-inch and actually I've taken pictures of Andromeda with the 16-inch Meade. Looked nice. Sorry, I've taken images of the Sombrero Galaxy, the M104, with the 16-inch Meade. It is 8 minutes by 3 minutes. And it's only 30 million light years away. You're welcome, Bill. As soon as the moon is out of the way in a few days, we're going to spend quality time with the western tip, if you will, of the Milky Way, with the M16, M17, M18, M19, M20, that whole area there, from the Eagle Nebula to the yeah, M17 is a swan. Delta Lambda Hercules has just crossed 60 degrees and 160 degrees. Okay, let's see if DWARF is going to be able to get Andromeda or not. So DWARF has calibrated successfully. Let's see if it can find Messier 31. It says it found it in the tree. That's not good. We'll come back. It is still in the tree. Let's see what is higher. I'm not going to attempt any nebula with the moon being so bright. I'm going to go to M15 for now. And then we'll come back to M31 in another 10-15 minutes. That's something nice about DWARF that no other telescope will do for us. Once it calibrates, it will go looking for targets inside trees. And we should be able to just go. DWARF is recognizing that last time it took darks, the temperature was a bit cooler, that tonight is 8 degrees warmer. Jeannie, if you're still with us, when I process the images for the variable star, I will probably put them through PIPP, through PIP, so that I will crop right around the middle and avoid any distraction by focusing just on the center of the image, and then adjust the frame rate so that we can play 2 hours in about 6 or 10 seconds. Okay, we're going to look at the variable star one more time. This is a replay, and please pay attention to what the arrow is showing. This was 2 hours ago. This is now 2 hours ago. Now 2 hours. If you look at the relative sizes of the two neighbors, that was 2 hours ago, and this is now. There is no doubt that their relative brightness has changed. We're back to the live image. Gonna give M15 another 5 minutes and then go back to M31, see if it has cleared the tree. Hi, Dean. We spent the past 2 hours imaging Delta Lambda Hercules, one of the RR Lyra variable stars. And right now it is obviously a lot brighter than it was 2 hours ago. It has a cycle of a few hours. And according to the literature, it's supposed to reach peak brightness at 12:30. So that's a few minutes ago. We imaged the moon for about 3 hours. Now we are on Messier 15 with the dwarf getting ready to go to Messier 31 Andromeda. So we're going to see if Andromeda has cleared the trees yet. with all the bells and whistles that Dwarf Lab has added to the app and to the firmware, they have taken away from us any chance of using Dwarf for a Messier marathon, because it takes forever to do anything now. It was not as sharp as it usually is. The moon was just a bit not as sharp of a focus. The smoke tonight is less than last night and less than tomorrow night. They're forecasting, actually they are giving us a health warning for tomorrow in New York. They're telling us if you absolutely don't have to breathe tomorrow, then hold off breathing till Thursday. Bill, here comes M31. It has cleared the tree. And there is Andromeda coming our way. Yeah, Michigan is not doing too well smoke-wise. This is what the map looks like now. So these guys are worst. So most of Europe now, Sweden, Norway, Poland, Germany, France, Portugal, the UK, Ireland, all covered with smoke. Not a pretty picture at all. When it starts telling us not enough stars, that translates into too much smoke. Looks like my estimate of a 1 a.m. wrap-up is becoming real. Neither Seestar nor DWARF is stacking. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for joining us tonight. We did some science and we had some success with that. So I shall wish you a good night. I'm going to start packing.